travel plans to China have all been worked out.
Welcome to part 10, where we're gonna go to China and watch Marie play paddleball.
Okay, I'll stop soon.
With a very compressed voice clip. But enough about that, let's get to the meat of this video.
The road trip gave me the time I needed to study up on the Panda King. Born penniless, he was fascinated by the fireworks rich noblemen set off every New Year's. He spent a decade learning the art. But when he tried to offer his fireworks to the noblemen, they couldn't see past his shabby clothes and chased him away. Humiliated, the Panda King took revenge on those who shunned him by using the very tools of his art for crime. The Fiendish Five recruited him as their demolitions expert, and from then on, his explosive touch became feared worldwide. He's rumored to be perfecting some new firework technique high in the unstable Kunlun Mountains of western China.
So, yep, we're in China now. This was actually originally meant to be the first world of the game. Not Raleigh's, but this one. Why, you may ask, was this changed? Well, apparently, from what I heard, this was really meant to be the first world because of the amount of gimmicks this level has. This level essentially has it all, except for, that one underwater sub thing, but yeah. This level was basically was originally meant to introduce you to all the gimmicks you would have to eventually face in the game. The problem was that playtesting proved that this level was way too difficult. Like, the whole entire world was way too difficult for being the first one. So it was moved to be the fourth world to basically even out the difficulty. And yeah, this level has signs of being essentially one of the beginning worlds, since everything is essentially, a drastic change of pace from Ms. Ruby, who is very dark, who fit the theme of, being, fourth world. But since she had to be pushed back for the Panda King, yep, we now have, well, Panda King is the fourth world now. So yeah, that's the reason why.
Would you look at that? A fireworks show! Oh my gosh, that's awful! That poor village just got buried in freezing snow!
The rocket came from that giant statue, and you can bet the Panda King lit the fuse. I've got to find my way up there and fast before that lunatic squashes another town.
So yep, if you haven't gotten the clue already, yep, he's, well, a demolitions expert. And he just buried a village under snow. But anyway, let's see his dossier, which is also in the Thievius Raccoonus. Panda King, demolition expert for the Fiendish Five. Bentley, take notes. Background. The Panda King began as an honorable fireworks maker, spending years perfecting his craft. When he offered his skills to the rich noblemen he had always envied, they shunned him as a shabby commoner. Enraged by rejection, the Panda King focuses his explosive skills on revenge. Every criminal operation needs a mad bomber. Again, take notes, Bentley, apparently. Don't listen to the mad bomb part. Last known location, somewhere in the Kunlun Mountains of western China. Yeah, that's Panda King, alright. There's not much else about him, he's just the demolitions guy that had a bad background. So there's a sympathetic kind of character, except for the part where, he just, essentially, I guess you could say he murdered a whole entire village by burying them in snow. Yep. Wait till you see the reasoning why he buried that village. So yep. This is also another pretty annoying level when it comes to collecting clue bottles, I find. in my test playthrough, or one of the playthroughs, I can't remember if it was the one where I did the game over video or if it was the test playthrough, but I do recall missing a very vital clue bottle near the beginning. And if you miss out on that, have fun. It's a big, long slog to go through just to find one clue bottle you might have missed. It's not like Crash Bandicoot where if you miss one crate, you have to get them all again. No, if you miss one clue bottle, all the ones you collected remain, and you gotta look hard for it. Also, those fireworks have a weird after effect, but so yep, you gotta get fireworks to do things for you here. So if it wasn't obvious enough with the Panda King's background, we got fireworks to deal with here. Also, if you remember, we got the invisibility move from Miss Ruby, which means we can now turn invisible. I only think there's one level you probably actually need it, but yeah. Although that does bring a question is, how was this originally meant to play out without the invisibility move back during the early phases of this game? Because originally the Panda King, he was supposed to provide you with the climb move. Yeah. But since he was the first world, that meant you didn't have any Thievius Raccoonus pages. And having invisibility is such a broken ability too. So what would Sly have to circumvent certain things back when this was the first world? That's a really good question I want to know, is how are you meant to put, how is this overworld designed for the most part without invisibility? Like I know it's not mandatory, but it's a very good question. How is certain levels supposed to be back when he didn't have the ability? Especially this one particular level that I would really like to know how it was originally meant back in the early phases, back when this was the first world. Of course, this probably also would have been the introduction to the safe when it was the first world, but it's not. But as you can tell here, this is a pretty soft atmosphere, a pretty calm atmosphere, so it fits the first level fine.
You can't get through the security gate without one of the Panda King's treasure keys. There's one over there, but it's heavily guarded.
One key coming up.
Yep, this has been a... Okay, I guess that's enough about this being a first world, originally. Also, General Sao, gross. Just gross. But anyway, enough about the babble of this being the first world of the game, originally. I'll just focus on other issues. Which is the fact that this was probably something we, already did before. So yeah, sneak around these guards again, except unlike, Ms. Ruby's world where you had to get some candles to, break out the key. Which, again, now I gotta bring it up. Sorry, yeah. This was another practice thing for, another thing to foreshadow what you would have to do later, originally. But yeah. You could sneak by these, but there's a big wall there that allows you to bypass everything. And the annoying part about getting caught here is that if you get caught, all these apes get on you. So yep, they just swarm the area you're in, and sneaking becomes harder. Unless you actually, move slowly so they don't see you, you don't have to worry about it. But obviously it's not how it works out, so yeah. And since there's clue bottles hidden among all these trees, there's no easy way around getting caught except by going slow. So yeah, if you want to get those clue bottles, make sure actually take out the ape guards here. So this is the one time you should actually experiment with, walking slowly. And basically this makes you realize why they added a walking, default walking stance for the next games. Because trying to tiptoe with the analog stick is pretty annoying with these guards who are very sensitive to catching onto you. Otherwise, it's pretty much it. It's not that difficult. And then we're already, not that far from getting on the clue bottles. I mean, the last few are already in this exact area. It's that I ended up running this problem where I couldn't find something that was in plain sight. See, up here it is. And now we're gonna get an upgrade that basically improves... Well, you'll see. You'll see.
Press the circle to enter the vault code. I got a real headache figuring this one out. Input 578. This just gets better and better. I'd always heard that one of your southern ancestors, Huckleberry Cooper, developed a technique to move while staying invisible. Hold down the circle button to turn invisible, then move around with the left analog stick.
See, early on you get an ability that improves your new invisibility upgrade. Remember, that's the last Thievius Raccoonus page we just got, and we already have an upgrade that improves it, where we can now actually move with it. Of course, you move at a really slow speed, but it's better than, standing still. But anyway, yeah. I would have thought that would have been a good, second upgrade, but yeah, I guess what we have now is fine. There's not much levels to actually use it with at this point, because this is just like Miss Ruby's, where there's lots of gimmick stages. I remember this was originally meant to showcase all the gimmicks. But now it's just the final gimmick for this game. And as you can tell here, if the guard, raises an alert, you will not be able to stay invisible, so don't rely on it too much.
Nice job breaking into the Panda King's compound. I think I figured out a way to get to the top of that giant statue, but unfortunately it's obstructed by this reinforced ceiling hatch.
No problem. They seem to have plenty of firepower around here. I'll just have to find a few more treasure keys to get at it.
Attention, valued employee. Sadly, company elected not to pay for avalanche protection service, and so I am forced to bury alive under many tons of snow. Please be on guard for any surviving villager that come looking for revenge. Thank you. That is all.
Yep, that's his reasoning for burying a village. That makes his character very questionable, so already you can tell he's not a very good character.
Murray's all fired up to make the run for the key. While on the blasting station, use the left analog stick to aim and the square button to fire.
Right on. I'll keep him covered.
Well, what I mean by good character is that you could tell that, yeah, he's essentially more just irredeemable. Not necessarily a bad character. So yeah, I guess you say you could look at him in the same view as Darth Vader, where, yeah, he's basically got treated bad early on, and what do you know? Now he caused genocide. Well, I guess it's not really genocide yet, unless, China as a whole refuses to pay for avalanche protection services from him. Anyway, this is another Murray protection level. So yeah. Remember the last one? It's much of the same here. Yeah, the difficulty doesn't change much with these levels here, so... But there's just one interesting note about this one particular level. Is the way that everything looks here. Like, seriously, it looks more like an optical illusion than anything else here I see. And he dodged that pretty well. But yeah, just try looking at this from the view of the turret. It looks like Murray could walk there, but in reality there's a big gap there that's preventing him from seeing things. And yeah, you could tell there's a gap because that guard just flew up there, so yeah, there is a gap. So yeah, if you think Murray could walk up there and he can't, he has to walk, go a certain path. And yeah, that should be it. That's key. It's the end of the level. Just kidding. Nope. He apparently raises an alarm and can't get the key until you provide him, ensure his complete and utter safety. So flashlight guards are gonna keep running out of these particular holes. They could come anywhere, but luckily the camera zooms out so you can at least see where they're coming from. And as long as you zoom in, as long as you aim at them, your camera will automatically zoom in on them, so that's nice. And now he has the courage to actually, run up and get the key. Yep, that was interesting, wasn't it? But that won't be the last of Murray's potential here. There's greater things for him to do. And here's a particular annoying guard that I had trouble using the decoy on. He falls asleep, don't bother using the decoy. Because, last time I checked, when I used the decoy on him, for some reason, he would attack me anyway, despite, only not even being anywhere near his cone of vision. But that doesn't matter now. We're now on a level that reuses even more old music. So we gone from reusing Paris, France's music, now we're using music from...
This looks like a good place to try out your new invisibility move. Hold down the circle button to drop out of sight. While invisible, nothing can see you. Not lasers, not searchlights, not guards. Oh, and if the guards already see you, then the invisibility trick won't work on them.
As I was saying, now they're reusing music straight from Raleigh's episode. So yeah. This should be the last time you hear reused music, I believe so. Oh, besides, levels, music associated with gimmicks. But yeah. I guess that makes this even, I guess this makes this level a little bit of sentimental. Whatever. It's a little sentimental because it's reusing music, so in a sense, it's making you think back on your previous adventures in the previous episodes. I know what I said is pretty stupid, but yeah, that's what it is. And I bet you that's probably not even the intention, but yeah. I'd assume they ran out of music budget here for more unique music. Oh, and I believe the HD version of this game doesn't doesn't replace this song too. So, yeah, you still get to hear Raleigh's song here. Or maybe considering this is originally meant to be the first world, maybe this wasn't Raleigh's theme. Maybe this really was supposed to be a theme specifically for China, but hey. I mean, if they got far enough to actually, design levels around the visibility move that Sly shouldn't be able to have at this point, then yeah. Maybe there was effort put into it. Anyway, this is pretty annoying a bit, but yeah. If it weren't for that guard making really such, sharp, or, just turning around so much, yeah, he would not be able to get there. Not even the decoy can reach him. Not that it would help, because the game's buggy sometimes with the decoy. Otherwise, yeah. There's also another thing that's special about this one level. Or is it the next level? But yeah, one clue bottle, one safe contains... Well, actually, right now let me speak on the fact that the key's already here. It's another one of those teasing moments where, yeah, here's a key that you can't reach. Chome, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, let me think more on the fact that it's originally first level. Yeah, that would have been a nice tease for, starting the level and here you go, here's what the key looks like in a proper on-foot level. Yep, and you can't even get it. And as you can confirm here, yeah, they did indeed reuse all of Raleigh's, music. Even the fighting song is the same as Raleigh's. But of course, as I said earlier, maybe this actually wasn't, originally Raleigh's theme. And as you can tell here, I just fell. I don't know what happened there, but my dive stopped being useful for some reason. And here's another guard that can be, you can pull a fast one on. Normally you would have to do some platforming to get around here, but with the help of the decoy, you don't even need to worry about that. As you can see here, you were meant to climb from the tree from the top there, but, well, actually using your abilities for once really does come, in handy, doesn't it? So yeah, all I can say is I didn't know what happened there with the dive move. And here's another thing with more lasers. Your visibility does actually work against lasers, as you saw earlier. That includes these. But these are pretty annoying to, navigate normally, so might as well not even, try to sneak through it entirely with, invisibility. But considering how slow you move with invisibility, why would you want to bother trying to do this? But yeah, at least we know there's something designed with the that wasn't, needed to, wasn't required with, visibility. I guess this level can be altered just enough that if you just remove certain elements, it'll work just fine without invisibility. But I guess that removes some of the uniqueness of these levels. Anyway, there's the last clue bottle's up here. Another nice level at least, where even though you find the safe first, the clue bottle that's close to, it's really close. There, already.
Press the circle to enter the vault code. It was a challenge, but this vault's combination has got to be 667. Incredible! I never would have thought this was possible. Sir Augustine of Cooper's technique to briefly defy gravity. From now on, you should be able to pop right out of those bottomless pits you keep falling into, and you won't even lose a lucky charm.
So if it wasn't enough that we could stop Sly from drowning, we can now defy gravity. Just watch this. Yep, we can now do that freely whenever we want. Although luckily this was actually something that probably fitted better as, with Panda King being the fourth world.
Sly, this pagoda is some kind of huge gunpowder production plant. Judging by the scale, the Panda King must be making tons of explosives.
Yeah, as I was saying, yeah, that's probably a good thing we actually, got the gravity defying move now, as this being the fourth world instead of maybe Miss Ruby, because I don't recall any bottomless pits in Miss Ruby's world. But yeah, no, that's it for part 10. See you next time, part 11, for where we explore more of, Panda King stuff. Until then, it's notyourusualZero signing off.